Okay, I'm going to begin now, here at the first part of this, my little walkthrough of MechWarrior 2 by going through the tutorials, which are the training missions. First up is the nav computer, followed by some mech handling, weapons usage, hunting, inspection, and trial. I'm going to go through them all normally, just talk a bit as this happens about the game itself, and I will be skipping over the cinematics and the menus because every single other YouTube playthrough of this game includes them, and I think we're all sick of it by now. I just want to focus on the gameplay and just talking about my experience with the game. So here we go, Training Mission 1.
Welcome to training, Cadet. I like to think of this lovely place as my home. Now, you wouldn't even think of upsetting me in my home, would you?
You're not my real dad.
Of course you wouldn't. So do what I say, when I say, and I won't get upset. I do bad things when I'm upset. So, what do you say we do a little nav computer training? Do not just sit there, Cadet. Punch N on the console to target nearest nav point.
Alright.
Use the numbers across the top of the console to manipulate the throttle. Set it to half by hitting 5. Pull the mech to the left with your joystick and line up on nav alpha.
I don't have a
Follow the
joystick.
arrow on the compass at the top of the HUD to find it. Line up those indicators, Scrub.
Autopilot engaged.
This guy's an amazing voice, I don't want to talk over him
disabled.
too much. But yeah, this is the first tutorial, just general mech usage. Let's see, who's in that? Galaxy Commander... Oops. Or Malthus, just kind of sitting there, chilling out. Does this guy have a name? I don't think he does. Contents unknown. Okay, Mr. Contents Unknown, you're the boss. Let's follow you around. Where do you want me to go? Beta? Doing a terrible job at this for someone who's played this game so much.
Once you hit nav alpha, the next nav in the sequence, nav beta will load automatically. Look up at the heading indicator. You'll see that nav beta is off to the right. Head for nav beta.
Yeah, by the way, I'm playing the DOS version of this game, where the mechs turn a little
Okay,
slower.
Wet Nose. Now here's a real tough one.
I generally enjoy the game more
autopilot
than the
by
other.
hitting A. Notice how the mech will automatically follow the nav sequence to Gamma while on autopilot. Good work, Wet Nose. Mission almost accomplished. Hit A to disengage the autopilot, set throttle to 1, and await instructions from TC. You drive like a freebirth, Cadet.
Yeah, this is a pretty short mission.
Incoming message.
Yep.
Training command.
Everyone's just talking over me.
Proceed to nav delta and dock at Mech Bay 5.
Whatever you say, Betty. Oh, wait. They actually animated that flag. That's adorable. I don't think I've ever noticed that. For a game that came out for DOS, this is
Mission
quite
successful.
impressive. Alright, that concludes tutorial 1. Let's start with the second one. Oh yeah, I want to disable the music just so it's a little clearer to hear things, but it keeps re-enabling it every time I go into a new mission. Anyways, mech handling. There's my buddy, contents unknown.
Okay, Scrub. Follow me to the mech handling course. I've a feeling you drive like a Sibco reject, but I can still find it in my giving heart to put you to the test. Line up between the flags at nav alpha and await my go.
This one's actually kind of a bitch in this version of the game because the mechs turn a bit slower than in Titanium or the standard Windows 95 release.
You will be timed on the course, so keep your throttle high in the straights. However, as you approach the gates, you will need to slow the mech to make the turn. Follow the line and slalom the pylons. You think you can handle it, Wet Nose? On my mark, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Whee! I don't know if the game is even coded to actually make you do this. Like, I don't think there are any conditions or triggers. I think you just can run to the end and succeed, but I'm not going to do that. Yeah, as I was trying to say earlier, this version of the game I think looks the best. Generally is the most stable, it has the most features, best soundtrack, best everything really. but it's the mech handling is a little sluggish. Titanium has a lot of issues. It introduces textures, but they're really lazily included.
Excellent work, Cadet. You have shown a mastery of your machine. Your performance is duly noted.
Incoming message.
There's Betty
Training
again.
command. Proceed to Nav Beta and dock at Mech Bay 7.
Yeah, I chose the Jade Falcon campaign to start out with, as that's the first campaign I ever played when I was a little kid. Back in '95 when they first introduced this game. There are so many different versions of this game, like I mentioned earlier, because this was used as sort of a tech demo game for various graphics cards. So this would usually come with computers that had various graphics cards, like ATI Rage,
Mission successful.
bunch of 3D effects shit, and other things. I don't remember the exact names of each one, because it's been more than 20 years, yeah. It's shocking. Okay, on to weapons usage.
Okay, Toad. Follow me to Nav Alpha
Ribbit.
on the gunnery range. It is time to see how you handle a mech weapons system. Keep your shots true, Scrub, and do not even think of making a mistake. You have live rounds in that mech.
I already made a mistake. I was born. Well, I guess technically I'm a clanner, so I wasn't born. I was grown? Do clanners regret being grown? Do they say that?
Proceed to Nav Beta.
This is what I
Shoot
think
the
about.
stationary targets, Scrub.
Do I just start shooting?
Feel free to approach the targets if you find them difficult to hit. Your secret is safe with me. I will not tell a soul of your
Oh, God.
incompetence.
Oh,
Trust me.
it's out of,
In this mission, you may find the
My
optical
lasers
magnification function useful.
are too
The
high
Z
to hit it.
button on the left of the cockpit increases the value of the zoom. Shift Z decreases the value.
Yay.
Nice work for a free berth. Now go to Nav Gamma and shoot the moving targets.
Lots of bouncing balls. Or spiky balls. I'm trying to imagine like an HD re-release of this game with fully updated graphics and just what the hell these things would look like. Are they supposed to be holograms? Are they actual, like, floating orb thingies? Oh. Must have finished this.
Well done. Now line up between the flags at Nav Delta and prepare to run the gauntlet. Await my go. Remember, this course is designed to train you in the use of independent torso twist while shooting. You will not finish if you do not twist your torso to fire upon the targets. The red flags at Nav Epsilon mark the end of the course.
I'm
To
trying
be
to talk here,
successful,
buddy.
you must not only destroy all the targets, but you must also finish under time.
But yeah, future versions of the game actually get rid of all this stuff here. Everything is just a kind of a bland dirt texture, and there's no mountains in the background. They get rid of all the geometry and just add like some really kind of cheap sprite image in the background that is, well, I think it looks awful compared to this. Obviously, this only mildly rivals, the graphic standards of games like Skyrim. I know that this is just about on the same level, but I think Skyrim beats it just by a little bit. Do people even talk about how good Skyrim looks anymore? I've been out of the loop on new games for like 5 years. But good thing Bethesda just keeps releasing it, so I guess it's still fresh.
Good. On my mark. 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Group fire engaged.
Oh god, yeah, I can't turn fast enough to really hit these things effectively. Alright, I think that was it. That's going to be embarrassing if I miss one.
Satisfactory work, Cadet. You have displayed an acceptable mastery of the onboard weapon systems.
All right.
I am very happy.
Yeah, I've never gone over here to check out these things, like during this level of the tutorial. Sometimes games like to include Easter eggs. This actually has a...
Incoming message.
Shut up, Betty. I'm
Training
trying to talk.
command. Proceed to Nav Zeta and dock at Mech Bay 1.
But yes, some games like to include lots of this shit here. Almost always Activision used to include their like address for their building and phone number that had a little Easter egg. Yeah, BFG 9000, Doom reference, of course. Pharmaceuticals. Vegetables. What the fuck is a vegtable? I'd love to know. Socket 5. I think that's the company that I work with for Heavy Gear. So there are a
Target
few.
is beyond inspection radius.
There are a few Heavy Gear references scattered throughout the game. Since Heavy Gear was in development when this game was being made, they both actually run on the same engine. Heavy Gear is pretty much just anti-missile units, not acknowledged. I think that's a joke because there aren't any AMS in the in this version of the game. There are in the expansion packs. But yeah, there aren't any Beagle probes either. Data stores, hip actuators, fire retardant foam, textiles, whatever. There's a character in MechWarrior Mercenaries you can get called Ash Reeves, which is sort of the noob you're forced to pair with in the Heavy Gear games. He's a lot of fun. Herc parts. I think it's a reference to an outdated mech. There's so many in the lore of BattleTech that even I can't keep track of it, and I've modeled at least half of all mechs in existence. Those who have been to my DA page know I have an embarrassing stockpile of models that I draw from that I've made over the years. Literally 200 or so. About 130 Intersphere mechs and I think 40 clan mechs or so. There's a lot less clan mechs, but that's just because there are a lot less of those that exist in the lore. Anyways, let's wrap up this mission so we can get on with things. I don't think there are any Easter eggs.
Target is beyond inspection radius. Mission successful.
Boop. There we go. That's how a true mech pro handles this, just ramming into shit. I am a god among pilots. But hunting. Again. Hunt some space deer or something.
Okay, Wet Nose. Follow me to Nav Alpha. Today you are to engage and destroy your first battle mech. Before you get too excited, Scrub, do not think the clan would risk a state-of-the-art machine on a worthless cadet like you. Out there at Nav Beta is a drone mech. It is not fast, and it has outdated weapons. Nonetheless, it is dangerous to fleshy-headed mutants like yourself. Kill it, and meet me at Nav Gamma.
Yeah, half the reason I play this tutorial every once in a while is just because this guy's got such a fucking great voice. He's almost as much fun as,
you will need to use the
I'm trying to talk about you,
functions of your
dick.
targeting computer. Hit E to target the nearest enemy, in this case, the drone at Nav Beta. Do not panic, Wet Nose. The drone is shut down, so you are unable to target him now. Get closer and then try.
Alright.
Once an enemy is targeted,
God damn it.
try engaging the target camera by hitting F4.
Yeah, this game has a lot of different cameras, like there's the down camera, the rear view camera, which I'm sure looks absolutely stunning with the 20 pixels or so that make it up. You can change your heads-up display, how your health looks, because the blue paper doll there is not really that helpful, honestly, in this game, but it looks cool.
Satellite link established.
Satellite link is, of course, a ton of
Autopilot
fun.
engaged. Autopilot disabled. Enemy power-up detected. Image enhancement engaged.
I believe this was essentially taken from the BattleTech TV show. It was a really terrible cartoon they put out in the late 80s, early 90s, I believe. I watched it once, and despite me being a huge BattleTech nerd, I've never watched it again. It's just... It's more of an oddity that if you're really into this stuff, you're gonna kind of chuckle at. You're gonna cringe at some of the poor quality in the animation and the kind of bad lore. I guess you should actually fight back against this guy. Alright, Kid Fox. Oh, Mr. Contents Unknown again. Oh, I guess that makes sense. But wouldn't the contents just be like a drone brain or something? That could be neat if they'd added that.
Group fire engaged. Enemy mech destroyed.
I love me the machine guns in this game.
Engaged.
It sounds so fun. I don't think there are any Easter eggs over here. None of these buildings are targetable, as far as I know.
Satellite link established.
Yeah, satellite link just gives you a look overhead. It's a really cool little feature that honestly isn't that helpful, but it looks fun. Hello, Mr.
Well,
Contents
you
Unknown.
made it back.
I made it.
So I guess you passed.
Yeah, graphically, from the year this game came out, it was
Incoming message.
amazing.
Training command. Proceed to nav Delta and dock at Mech Bay 6.
Almost every other game was sprite-based, so it looked very, very simple, very chunky. And this is back in the day when a game was in 3D and having a 3D environment, not stereoscopic like we have now with VR and whatever. Or not VR, but you know, where you have to wear glasses and all that shit. That would almost be stuck on the cover of every game, like Rogue Squadron, which I almost played instead of this, has 3D on the title when it came out for N64 and Windows 95, 98, whichever version. Let's end this.
Mission successful.
Yay. Inspection.
Okay, Scrub. Now we're off to the recon identification.
Oh, I don't have my guns
First,
anymore.
meet me at Nav Alpha. On the course, you will learn to identify critical targets under fire.
I got a bigger
There are
map.
multiple structures on the course. One contains hip actuators. To target likely structures, put your reticle over the structure in question and hit Q. Approach the targeted structure and hit I to inspect its contents.
Now, I believe this is set up exactly the same as the previous mission. Oh, hey. Yeah, I guess all these are. Still got the green balls of spiky death, apparently. Yeah, we have no weapons, but gotta watch out for these little turrets that I believe just shoot, like, medium lasers at you. Something really, not terribly effective, since we got plenty of armor. Ow, quit it. Ow, quit it. Ow. If I remember, the hip actuators are right back here. I won't waste too much time on this mission, just because we've effectively already done it. I'll just inspect everything again. Inspect these little turret thingies. That's one thing that I actually really like about this game, is that they've got a huge variety in models. They could have just used the same turret throughout the entire game, but there are actually 4 different turrets. And a couple of them only appear once, like these. These only appear in the tutorial.
Inspection
There we go.
successful.
Well done, Whelp. You have successfully displayed the ability to do what I tell you to do. I
Yay.
like that. My dog does what I tell it to. I like my dogs. I should introduce you to each other. Remind me to do that.
That sounds like
Incoming
fun.
message. Training
Like
command.
doggies.
Proceed to nav Delta and dock at Mech Bay 11.
But yeah, the instructor guy here, I don't know his actual actor's name, and the Betty, the computer voice, are the only 2 voice actors in the entire game. and you'll be hearing a lot more of Betty than, let's call this guy Contents Unknown. Let's just keep calling him that. Contents Unknown doesn't really do much. He does the intro for Clan Wolf. Betty, voice actor, does the intro for the Jade Falcons. That's kind of it beyond just being the computer. She tells you all the objectives you need to know. The game's pretty basic in that way. Though, I don't know if this guy's done anything else, Mr. Contents Unknown, but I know Betty has gone on to do Agent Carter for Marvel, some new, apparently popular TV series. I haven't seen it yet. Maybe I should, just because I like her voice. She returns in Heavy Gear.
Mission successful.
As one of the characters in the game, and as the voice of the computer for the opposing gears. You only hear her for like 1 or 2 missions when you steal a captured enemy gear. Gear being what they call mechs.
This is a call to trial. You are to engage in a trial of position for the rank of Mech Warrior. Okay, Cadet. Go to Nav Alpha. This time you are on your own. You are to engage a Mech Warrior in the field. If you are victorious, so be it. The clan will be bettered by having a new, competent Mech Warrior. If you are not, the death of the incompetent is the death of a feeble progeny and a testament to our glorious method.
Autopilot engaged.
Yeah, they, you might have noticed by now, people who are familiar with BattleTech, they downgrade all your weapons, since obviously you're just kind of a noob. They don't want to give you anything too powerful, because I'm sure a dumb enough rookie pilot would blow up the training facility if he had access to a full max worth of shit, and he just did something dumb or went rogue if he thought he was going to lose. It's a nice little touch. I kind of like that. As you might
Image
notice,
enhancement engaged.
the image enhancement is just a wireframe of everything, and that's color-coded a little bit. It's pretty dang basic, but I thought it was cool as hell back in the day. I still really like it. Sadly, they actually get rid of it in future versions of the game for some reason. The lore behind it is kind of
Autopilot
weird.
disabled.
Like, canonically, the people who use image enhancement too much go insane, and they have to use... it actually has to be used with proto-mechs, which are sort of the red-headed stepchild of the BattleTech universe. They're all really ugly. They look sort of like Greek gods or ancient statues, but made into mech form. They're just kind of lame, honestly. But they're used heavily towards the end of the Clan Invasion era, when Smug Jaguar gets its ass kicked and effectively wiped from existence. But not really, because a lot of people enjoy that clan, so the writers, of course, have them totally survive in a different form that I care too little about to remember off the top of my head. They effectively become a mercenary unit, I think. Ow, stop it. Now, I believe, according to lore, you actually are fighting a, like an aging Mech Warrior. He's on his way out. It's sort of a test to see how well you can do as a noob. Oh, that's a couple lazy missiles. Sometimes that happens. So, this Mech Warrior is Zack. He must be a noob since he never got a higher rank than Mech Warrior. Yeah, Mech Warrior in itself is a rank among the clans. It's not among the Inner Sphere, it's just a general title. You're a guy who drives a mech. That's kind of it.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Early on in the lore, Mech Warriors were also...
You have fought well.
I'm trying
Report to Training Command for posting.
Shush.
Oh, and congratulations, Mech Warrior.
Oh, that's sweet. But yeah, the Mech Warrior pilots were also the pilots
Incoming
of...
message.
God damn it, Betty.
Training command. Proceed to Nav Beta and dock at Mech Bay 8.
All of the Mech Warrior pilots were also the pilots for the spaceships, which are called aerospace fighters in this universe. But I think, more or less, that's been ignored. BattleTech has been going on for so long and has gone through so many different writers. There's a lot of things that are kind of nebulous. But I just sort of pick and choose. You can see in the comments section of just about any video, there are are usually contradictory opinions, like, why'd you include this? Or no, it's actually A, not B, but then someone will say, no, it's B, not A, and you can never really please everyone 100%, so I just kind of do my best when I'm making animations and such. This is sort of riveting for the last kilometer here, but we'll get there soon, and this is the end of the tutorials, so I'll talk a bit more about the influences for this game in later missions, like how James Cameron actually had a really big influence on this game. I'll talk about that a bit as things go on, point out some other references to other sci-fi and things like that. Anyways, since there's not much really left here, thank you for joining me. I am Ian, or Kilroy, or Suey, or Kilroy Suey, or whatever username I'm going by at the current moment. I'll catch you guys next time, and I hope you enjoyed this so far. Any second now. Stomp, 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 stomp.
Mission
Oh,
successful.
what happened? There we go. And that's it.